Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with Podcast 37. Man, we're climbing fast. Today, I'm excited. I have 10 questions from real estate investors who have sent their questions in to support at bsffacademy.com. This is so cool. 10 questions. Here we go. Question number 1. Doesn't rehabbing usually involving doing some minimal work on the property, as in cleaning it up so it looks like a handyman special fixer-upper? Yeah, I would say so. Rehabbing could be more than that as well. So the minimal, trashing out a house, and I always do, even on my hoteling, I'll go in there and trash it out. I want to get rid of all the junk. I want to make it look as good as I can without spending a bucket load of money. But for $500, $600, $700, and I've got my house trashed out, I'm going to remove the carpet. If it's a concrete foundation, I'm going to leave the padding to cover up the cracks in the concrete. If it's a subfloor, I'm going to remove the padding and the tack strip, so I'm going to get it as clean as possible. But I'm not going to take anything out like if I was going to do a rehab, because normally on a rehab I would take out the toilets and the tubs and those kinds of things, take all the lights out and everything like that. On a hotel deal, all I'm going to do is just simply clean it up. I'm going to trash out the outside, but it's relatively inexpensive, really fast. A couple guys, less than a day kind of thing, and I'll fall forward. Sometimes we'll use our trailer, a dump trailer. Sometimes we'll call in a roll-off. Just depends on how bad the situation is. We buy houses a lot where people have just abandoned the house, or one of the characteristics that we offer, or one of the things we offer sellers is the ability to just leave behind whatever they don't want. So most sellers think they have to clean the house when they sell it. Not in our case. We let them know any items that they don't want, we'll donate to the church. All the usable items, all the rest of them we'll just take to the dump. And we mitigate that cost. I mean, we're reducing that cost to the seller and how much they're getting. But it's so much easier for the seller. So it's kind of what we do. Question number 2. Would you typically have to purchase the property first, private funding, to do the work and then sell on the MLS? No. You can start selling on the MLS the moment you have it under contract. Remember, unless you've entered into a contract that allows the seller to continue selling, you become the seller. And the MLS guidelines from NAR, National Association of Realtors, who govern the multiple listing services, all the boards, their guidelines call for the seller to have authorized the insertion of the property into the MLS, not the owner of the property. So I'm gonna do it that way. But typically, I'm not gonna trash out. I'm not gonna spend any money on a house until I own it. But I'll put it up on the market as soon as I can. Question number 3. Could we do these types of deals creatively with sellers, equity splits, no money down, seller financing, etc.? Absolutely. I would never do an equity split. That's a little weak transaction. But yeah, no money down, seller financing, sub-2 financing all day long. You can either do options. You can have a long extended period of escrow. Anything like that, absolutely. Question number 4. Whereas wholesaling usually refers to putting a property under contract, then selling on the MLS at a price that's just under full retail, since we would have equitable interest with a contract other than the seller's objections, do you know if there's any restrictions that would prevent us from listing the property? Not aware of any. And keep in mind, we're not trying to sell the property under full retail value. We're trying to sell the property at retail value. So if the ARV is 200, but the as is 100, I'm buying that property probably for $50,000, maybe $60,000, and I'm going to sell it for $100. Some investor will pay me cash. They're going to go in there and do the rehab, and they're going to make money as a contractor. That's okay. I'm fine with that. It's going to take them 2, 3, 4 months to do all they need to do to it and get it sold. 2, 3, 4 months, I'm going to have a lot more sold besides them. So I'm going to turn my dollars faster, and that's really what matters to me, is how fast can I turn my dollars, how quick can I get in and out of a house. And because I'm not in the house owning business, I'm in the house selling business, and there is a big difference. Question number 5, for an investor that is not a real estate agent or broker, would you advise them to still sell their deals on the MLS or find cash buyers? You should do both. If you have a list of cash buyers, absolutely sell it to them. Don't pay a real estate commission. However, don't spend your time looking for your cash buyers. If you're spending much time at all, you're wasting your time. Put it on the MLS, find them that way. And when you have multiple offers on the property, keep in mind we're buying houses that all look the same. We're buying them in the same areas, kind of thing. We're marketing the certain types and styles of houses. When you have multiple offers on a property, after you sell that property, call those agents that made you those multiple offers and say, hey, I have another one. Got another one coming on board. Do you want it? Do you still have a buyer? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. Take advantage of those past MLS transactions to find your buyers list. You still have a commission to pay, but who cares? You want to sell your houses as fast as you can. It's a great way. And if you have a pocket listing, which is basically what it is, those are great things. So, because it's absolutely going to help the buyer, if it's never hit the MLS. But we can go in that on another question from someone. Question number 6, and it's a scenario question. Mr. Smith is getting started as an investor. He has a full-time job and no access to the MLS. He would like to hire an assistant that does have access to the MLS, housewife or husband, real estate agent type, to run the CMAs for him, but can't pay a salary. How can he offer to compensate that person for their work running comps? Well, guys, it's a great question. And the reality is this business, being in business costs money. And it is just the fact of life. Most agents will run you your comps, but they want something for it. They don't want something while they're running the comp, but they want to know and believe that you're going to use them to resell the property. So that's probably what you want to do is you want to find an agent that understands what your model is. They're not working for you. They're working for themselves. They're selling other big people's houses and that kind of thing as well. But they'll run comps for you, knowing that they're going to get the listing. Now, you can't cry wolf. I mean, you can't get them to do all this work and then at the end of the day go, no, I'm not going to use you after all. Well, that's kind of CS kind of stuff. So if you make an arrangement with someone, hold to the arrangement and fall forward. Now, you can set up with a company like CoreLogic, which may be the perfect thing for you, where you set up on their BPO program. I think it's like $225 for an interior. I think it's $175 for an exterior. So what they do is they send a real estate professional out for an interior, and that agent walks the property, the inside, the outside. They do a complete CMA, almost like a really mini appraisal. It's better than a CMA, actually. They take all kinds of pictures for you. They're going to give you all kinds of opinions about price and work and all the kind of good stuff, how long, what the market is, how long it's going to take to sell. For a couple $100 after you have a house under contract, it's probably really worth it, especially if you're brand new, don't have a lot of access to the MLS. So you may look into that kind of program and see if that's out there for you. I know CoreLogic just sold their branch to another company, but if you go to CoreLogic, look around, CoreLogic.com, look around, you'll be able to find the links to the company they sold their service to. Question number 7, and it's a scenario question as well. 2 of the farm areas in Mr. Smith's location are very small. Absentee owners lists are less than 100 each, and list source requires a minimum of $50 orders. Should Mr. Smith explore the subscription plan or continue to buy single lists every 6 months or so and sort the lists in small areas? Yeah, I wouldn't do the subscription plan. I don't like subscription plans for list source. And, let's face it, if you got a $50 minimum order and it is what it is, well, it is what it is. So fall forward, get the names you need to get and buy them. And maybe you're going to spend a little bit more money than someone else would because their list would be bigger on per list kind of charge kind of thing. But who cares? I mean, you got the list. Now go to work. Sometimes we worry about the little things so much. We're pinching pennies. My goodness gracious. We just need to go in and get some stuff done. Spend some money, understand it's going to cost money, and fall forward. Question number 8. What are the advantages to buying the house and closing the house at 60% of as-is value versus assigning the contract without closing? Well, that's the whole idea. Because when you're a wholesaler, What you're doing is you're putting something under contract at 60% of value or 70% of value. You're just selling that contract to somebody for a percentage of the profit. I'm doing the same amount of work. I'm putting something under contract at 60 cents on the dollar, sometimes 70. Yuck, kind of thing. I hate 70s. I just hate them. Hate's a big word, so I dislike them greatly. Anyway, I'm putting it under contract at 60%, and I'm going to sell it at 100%. So I'm going to make all of the 30% minus the costs, and I know the costs are 8.25% to sell a house. Well, to a wholesaler, that's another yucky word. To a wholesaler, they may on that deal they may make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 at the most. Well, I'm going to make over 20 after all my costs are paid. You're going to make 5 at the most as a wholesaler? Why would you do that? The reason you would do that is because you don't know how to buy the house. You don't know how to orchestrate the transaction with the seller. Buy that thing, seller finance, sub-2 financing, get it on the market, get it sold. But because you don't know how to do that, you waste $15,000, $16,000. That's a shame to me because my coaching program is only $5,000 to get in and another $5,000, when you do a deal during the year. So your first deal, you're going to make more money using my coaching program than wholesaling, but I'll preach all that all day long. Question number 9. Do you go over and explain each paragraph of your 9-page contract with the seller? Abso-friggin-lutely. If you do not do this, shame on you. I mean, that's our job. And my contract's full of things like, I call them character closes. Things I tell the seller that I don't legally have to tell the seller. And most investors won't ever share with the seller. So the seller's looking at me like, I can't believe you just told me you're going to make a huge amount of money flipping my house. Yes, sir, I am. Yes, ma'am, I am. My job is to give you the money I've promised to give you. Your job is to sell the house to me. I'm hoping I can make money, but I'm still taking the risk. You have no more risk. You can get on with your life. I get to take this house, do what I think has to be done to it, and turn around and sell it for profit. And I'm hoping I'm going to do that. But you have a guaranteed offer, and I can close it on the day of your choice. And you have a buyer who doesn't have to qualify for a loan. That's a cool thing. And it's okay. It's okay to tell the truth. It's okay to explain all the stuff. Man, when I explained that in my contract where if they back out, they have to pay me $50,000 or 25% of the contract, whichever is greater. I explained that to a Superior Court judge. Here's what he said. He said, Mike, I can't believe people signed this thing. And I said, Your Honor, they do. Can you sign here? And he signed there. He signed the agreement knowing that I had all this stuff in it because I'm honest with him. Man, I like peanut butter. I'm going to tell you my peanut butter story. Now, you guys have probably heard it before. Some of you haven't. But I like peanut butter so much it shows. But anyway, I like peanut butter so much that if a seller that I bought a house from was in the peanut butter aisle of my grocery store, I want to be able to go down there, pick up my Jiffy Creamy, and shake hands with the seller, ask them if they have any referrals, and have a nice conversation and get my peanut butter. I don't want to have to turn around and go find another convenience store or grocery store to get my Jiffy Creamy at. So I'm just honest. I just tell people what I'm going to do. It's no big deal. My goodness, the sellers want you to tell them what you're going to do. And explaining every paragraph is a good thing. Question number 10. After marketing with yellow letters and receiving phone calls and voicemails, do you only call back sellers who seem motivated, or do you call back everyone who calls you, even if they don't leave a voicemail? Well, there's a rule on this one. The day that they call, I'm only going to call back the motivated seller. So, someone hung up, not going to call them back. Someone left me a voicemail that said, take me off your list, not going to call them back. Someone left me a voicemail that says, run on out here and buy my house. I'm going to call that one back. And we're going to make an appointment to go out and buy a house. However, in 15 days, I'm calling everybody back. Hi, this is Michael with I Buy Houses. You called 15 days ago regarding a note I had sent you about possibly selling your house. Do you have a house you were hoping to sell? Oh, you don't? Terrific. Well, if you would, just keep me in mind if that ever comes about, and I'll keep contacting you in the meantime. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. At 30 days, I'm going to call them back again. At 60 days, I'm going to call them back again. At 90 days, I'm going to call them back again. Because I know, and I have been taught by sellers, that our touches are starting to create traction. And one of those callbacks, they're going to say, I'm ready. So call it back. In fact, just yesterday, one of my coaching students who didn't call the person back on the timetable that I set for him, because it's 15, 30, 60, and 90. When he called them back at 30, they had already sold the house to somebody else. Wouldn't that suck? Here you go through all the work of advertising and marketing and setting your systems up, and man, you're ready. You're just salivating to go buy some houses, and you drop the ball on yourself. That would suck. Because all you got to do is call them back and say, hey, Michael Quarles with I Buy Houses. You called 30 days ago, 15 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago. Regarding a note I sent you about possibly buying your house. Did you have a house you were hoping to sell? Man, it's so simple. And who cares if they call you a name or click the phone down and hang up or whatever? Every time someone says no, you're getting one step closer to a yes. And I look at those no's like, man, this is just practice. This is fun. I get to role play for real. So that's all you got to do, guys. And thank you for the 10 questions. This is awesome. This is really awesome that I got to answer 10 questions for you folks. And remember, to send in your questions, send it to support@bsffacademy.com. And I saw yesterday someone went to iTunes and actually gave me a favorable rating. That was cool. If any of you guys or gals think that I'm doing a good job for you and you enjoy the podcasts, you like the fact that I'm not, no fluff kind of guy, that I'm just say what I say. Yeah, I probably piss somebody off once in a while. I hope not, but I probably do. But I'm just a guy. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this stuff. Man, you don't need someone to give you a toothache about real estate. You need the honest truth. And if you like that, go to iTunes like the guy did yesterday and give me a rating, a favorable rating. If I'm doing a horrible job, go to iTunes and tell that too. I guess we have to have equal play for both sides. Until next time, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.